Hey everybody, Coach Robin here. I hope you're all making it through the end of the one full week of the stay-at-home order. Hopefully you're all moving, and definitely let us know if there's something more that you'd like to see, and we'll see what we can do for you. This week I'd like to talk a little bit about recovery and rest. So, we definitely want to stay moving, keep our energy, just keep energy moving, keep blood moving. I know it definitely helps me have some structure to my day, to have a workout in the morning. Even though I might be slow getting to it, it's really helpful for me to know that I can go to Train Heroic, see the workout, see a few comments from people, and then get into it myself. And once I'm into it, I feel a lot more grounded and just feel better overall. And I want to talk about the recovery and repair from it. So I know that some people have home gyms, and so maybe you're lifting the same kind of heavy weights that you've been lifting. For me, it's very different from what I was doing before. And I've realized that I needed to really look at this as a time to embrace those body weight movements, using the lighter weights, and let my body have this recovery and repair time, especially when my stress level is so high. So I wanted to share some things about that. So one is about sleep. During sleep is a major time that our body repairs and rejuvenates. Our hormones are different when we sleep than in the daytime, and that's when a lot of our body systems can repair, regenerate, build muscle. We can rest and reset. So one of the things I've been thinking about is I definitely want to get more sleep than I've been used to before the stay-at-home order and that sort of thing. So one recommendation I have for you all is to just get more sleep than you're used to. I know there's kind of the standard around 8 hours of sleep each night, and I know people vary a lot in the number of hours that feels good to them and feels restful for them. But I would encourage you just to get more sleep than you're used to. Even if it's 30 minutes, you might increase, your sleep time a little bit so that you're getting 30 more minutes, maybe increase another hour. And part of that too is also making sure you have a routine around sleep. Maybe you have had one and you've been able to maintain it, but still having some kind of set hour or set range of time that you go to sleep in. For me, it's often like between probably more like 9 and 10 right now, but I try to go for 9:30-ish, something like that, and then getting up around the same time each day, just so there's some consistency in habits there. It's also helpful to really have some routine around going to bed. It can be really simple. It might be several things that you do, but some ideas for that could be, well, what you want to do is let your body and your mind and your whole self know that it's time to rest soon. So getting prepared for that. Things you might try are baths or showers, music, meditation, maybe some deep breathing, reducing screen use around bedtime. That one's a hard one for me right now, but I know that I do sleep better if I have less screen time overall, because being in front of a screen, whether it's something more active like a movie or typing or emails or whatnot, it really does activate a brain center in there that makes our brains more active, and it can be more difficult to rest. So something to take a look at. And then there are naps. I've been getting in more naps now that everything's shut down and I'm at home. And also be strategic with those so that you're not interrupting your nighttime sleep patterns. So the time of day that you take a nap would be really important. Most recommendations I've seen are to nap so that you're ending your nap before 5 p.m. And you might have to play with that a little bit too to see what is optimal for you. But the time of the day is really important. I would say probably early afternoon, and sometimes for me even late morning is a great time for a nap. And then you also want to consider the duration of your nap. So anything more than probably an hour could potentially disrupt your nighttime sleep pattern. So I definitely set alarms for myself. I know that I want to be able to let myself sleep when I need it, but I want to make sure that I'm not throwing off my circadian rhythms. Because back to those hormones that are different at night, our cortisol levels, which is one of our stress hormones, rises in the morning. It helps us get going during the day. And then as we're winding down in the evening, those cortisol levels are supposed to reduce. And if we're too active later into the night, it can really disrupt those patterns. So something to keep in mind. Another thing about napping is to take naps not in the same place that you sleep at night. It just gives your body a different signal of like, maybe it's on the couch or maybe in a different room or whatever it is, a different place that you nap somewhere different from where you sleep at night. So that's what I have for you this week. I hope you all are resting well. And, there's all kinds of great teas out there, herbal teas that can help with resting, and something, or warm water at night, something that will help you relax and settle back in. So here's to recovery time, and hope you all are sleeping well. Coach Robin here again. I want to talk with you today about more of the core movements. So for Friday this week, we have some planks for you to work on. And we talk about bracing the core a lot, about getting that core work integrated into the other movements that we do. And so I want to go through a series of movements today that will help you do that. They're very different from a lot of the bigger, more dynamic movements we do, but they will help with retraining your nervous system and muscles to work together differently. So these are going to be subtle but powerful movements that will help us practice bracing the core while also breathing, and connect our core work to what our lower limbs are doing. So we're going to do the first one, which is bracing while breathing. So laying on the floor, I want you to have knees bent up and have your thumb wrapped around towards your back and fingers on the front of your abdomen. Bracing your core means pushing your abs out into your hands. So, and think of making like a canister with your torso. While keeping those abs engaged, you want to breathe with your ribs and your chest, but not your shoulders. So tuck the shoulder blades down and under you, hands on the side, bracing the core, and then breathing from the ribs. I know breathing is something that we do probably, thousands of times a day, but it's something that when we get stressed out, or if we're, for whatever other reason, sometimes our breathing just becomes inefficient, and there are ways for us to retrain how our body deals with the breath and become more efficient at it. So part of what I mean when I say efficiency too is that we're not using our shoulders. Sometimes we've had a really tough workout and we're just using all of our muscles to breathe. That's different. Just in day-to-day breathing throughout your day, you really want to be breathing from the torso rather than the shoulders. So just kind of notice what your body's doing when you breathe. Like if I'm taking a deep breath in, are my shoulders coming way up? That tells me that I'm not engaging the breathing muscles properly. So an awareness exercise, be paying attention to that. Next, we're going to add a movement to the same position. So back laying down, hands around your torso, feel the core engage, still breathing, and these are going to be, again, small, subtle, but powerful movements. And one leg at a time, I want you to raise and lower. It doesn't need to go super high, maybe 6 inches off of the ground. And I'm keeping my pinky finger on my hip bone. And what I'm looking for is that my hip stays stable while my leg moves and my core is engaged. So what I don't want to feel is that my hips are like tilting side to side or rolling back and forth. I want to hold my hips stable while the leg moves. The deep hip flexors, way under all the abdominal muscles, way towards the back of the body, should really be engaged in moving the leg, along with some of the more superficial hip flexors. So again, you want to keep breathing with those, feeling the ribs do the work of the breathing and the diaphragm. The next variation is the dead bug. So again, hands to the side, core is braced. This time I'm going to start with my legs up. My knees are at a 90-degree angle, hip at a 90-degree angle. And what I'm going to do here is move this knee in a circle. And I'm going to go 5 times each direction. And again, I want my hip to stay stable and my core to stay engaged, and I want to keep breathing. So 5 each side. Again, here's this knee moving, and other direction, and my core is braced. Last one is going to be a pelvic rock. And this is one, again, too, that really dials in getting our nervous system and muscles talking to each other and coordinated. So you're going to be on your back, knees bent up. And what I want to do is create space under my lower back and then close that space by rolling the hips. So I do want my hips to move on this movement. And again, it's very controlled. I want my legs to be relaxed, and it's a very slow, smooth movement. What you're looking for here is to see if it is a slow movement. Sometimes it can be kind of ratchety, and that just means that's a place where your nervous system and muscles might not be fully coordinated. There might be just a little bit of weakness there that needs just some attention. And you can coordinate your breathing with this too. As your back comes up off the floor, you're breathing in. And as your back comes against the floor, breathe out. One thing that's nice about these movements too is they can be a great way to unwind at the end of the day. So if you need something to add to your routine, getting ready for bed, these can be some nice gentle movements to get the breathing slowed down, become really intentional with it, and get a good night's sleep. Thanks, everyone.